Amanda Land. Amanda Land. Amanda Land.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Views from Amanda Land, your news and truths by any joke necessary. Okay, I gotta tell y'all. I have long COVID, so what happens is COVID will just come back. Like it'll just resurface. If I get if I don't get enough sleep or whatever, like it'll just literally like come back. And when it does, I am just like I can't like do much because my whole body just like shuts down. And the only thing that really kind of makes it pass is rest. And I am not, I just need to rest. So I'm going to have to take next week off. I have to perform, What Would the Ancestors Say next Saturday at Lincoln Center. And if I don't take some time off, I will not heal. I just won't. And so what I'm going to do is I will set it to where it like goes live. So if you all want to be in the chat Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, you know, because what's been really dope is to see the community that you all have built here at Views from Amanda Land. And I think it would be great if you guys still came, you know, together and chatted, because you all have so much conversation in the chat yourselves. So I will set this up so that on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, it will still open and it will still have the chat. Like I'll still like greet you and say good morning and then leave you all to the chat. I'll even put up a list of topics to discuss amongst yourselves. But I just need to rest, y'all. And I'm just not doing it. But someone asked, do I test positive or is just the symptoms? No, I don't test positive. It's just the symptoms. So I have the flu symptoms. I have the lethargy. Sometimes the fever will come back. But it really is just like I can't like function. So it takes a lot. Like I'm really not well. But nonetheless, we persist. You know, we suck it up like I'm a single parent. And Felicia, how have you been pronouncing lethargy? Lethargy? Well, lethargic is one thing, but lethargy is the lethargy version. So you say lethargic and then lethargy. But, you know, who knows? The British might be like lethargic. You never know. You know, the British be like throwing off all English. So, but I really want to wish you all a happy Tuesday. Welcome to Views from Amanda Land. You've woken up on the right side of history. Let me know where everybody is watching from. I swear, I'm only 3 times am I going to say I feel like crap. So here's one. Let me just get it out the way. Let me just get it out the way. Someone said I sound much better today. Do I? It's the lipstick. The lipstick makes everything sound better. That's why I wear bright lipstick when I'm not feeling well, because it be tricking you. So we got Brooklyn in the house, Princeton, Shreveport, Luzanne, Reading, Pennsylvania, Boston, Mass. Yes, Kevy Kev, I am leaving you a lesson plan and letting YouTube be the substitute teacher. I didn't even realize that's what I'm doing. My mom literally was like, maybe you could get that substitute teacher. I'm like, relax, please. Please. We got somebody else from San Diego, so you Dago people need to link up. Watching from Code London. I know y'all have some weird pronunciation, well, weird considered to us, of lethargy. Lethargy. I swear it's probably lethargy. We got Bridgeport, Connecticut. We got New Zealand in the building. Oh my gosh. Shout out to Aotearoa. Am I pronouncing that right? I'm trying. We have Chicago. Nice size. Nice. Why did I say nice size? Because I read life size cutout and I was like, I don't know what I'm saying. Kansas City in the building. Shout out to D. Williams for dropping an early super in the chat. What else we got? Brooklyn's always in the house. Brooklyn's always in the house. We also got PG County, Maryland. And what else? We got Long Beach. Okay. Bay Area. Yeah, where is Bay Area at? Where is? We got St. Louis. We got Alabama. Yay, you made a live, Carlin. Yay. Dallas is in the building. What up, Doe? What up, Detroit? We got the BX. Shout out to North Hollywood, California. I used to live over there. What else? We got Laurel, Mississippi. I like Mississippi in the building. Queens. We got, stop it. We got Saudi Arabia in the building, y'all. Come on. That's flat. That's fire. What else we got? We got New Hampshire in the building. So you know what I want to do? I'm going to get a map. And I'm going to mark on the map countries and states that we are touchdown in. I'm going to do it. All right. South Africa. We got Sao Paulo, Brazil. Renato Paixão. Renato will always be rocking with us. We got Chicago. Shout out to the Windy City. Sylacauga. Is that an AL? Alabama? And we have Puerto Rico in the building. I love it. Yes. Want to remind folks that I will be at Lincoln Center with What Would the Ancestors Say on February 22nd. I'll be at Lincoln Center on February 22nd with What Would the Ancestors Say? And it's going to be a free show. And it's going to be flames. It's going to be a free show that you all can come to. It's only going to be able to seat 200 people. So because it's only going to be able to seat 200 people, it's going to be first come, first serve. First come, first serve. Now, the thing about that is that we will also have a meet and greet that you can buy tickets to. The tickets will be available for the meet and greet on Monday. You can still come to the meet and greet even if you don't make it into the show. Okay? You can still come to the meet and greet even if you don't make it into the show. The show is February 22nd at Lincoln Center Atrium here in New York City. Tickets for the meet and greet will go on sale on Monday, February 17th at amandaseals.com. Okay? At amandaseals.com. So hopefully you guys will come through and come see What Would the Ancestors Say. I am also, for my Patreon subscribers, I will also make it available probably tomorrow or Thursday for you all to volunteer, which means you all will get to see the show for free. You also get some free merch, etc. What the hell is up with this broad? What's your problem? What's your problem? What's your problem, Madeline? What's your problem? You're in here talking mess. It's too early. What is your problem? You wanted attention, you got your attention. What is your problem? What is your problem? Anywho, so come through, free show. You can get meet and greet tickets. Now, of course, the balance is this. You get the free show with a free, also, walk and talk. Black people trying to be naive on stolen land? Shut the fuck up. Ugh. Get out of here. What are you talking about? Like, banished. All right. Anywho, so you can also, there will also be a meet and greet. There'll also be a talk back with myself and Ms. Mahogany Brown, incredible poet. So we will be there doing a talk back after. So you get a free show, free talk back. There will also be merch available and meet and greet. So shout out to anybody who's out there. I always want to, let y'all know, like, I'm trying to do free shows where the art itself is available to you for free. If you have the funds and you want to support me in other ways, like through the meet and greet or through the merch, that's there, but the art itself is free. A talkback comedy rule is a Q&A where you all are also able to ask questions. So Reese said, there's some trolls in this house. There's some trolls in this house. Facts. So shout out to everyone who's going to make it, because it's so nice to be back in New York and get to do things like this with y'all. All right, let's get into our word of the day. Real quick. Let's do our church announcements. So want to remind you that you can check out the show Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Shout out to everybody who's joining us for the first time. This is Views from Amandaland. Please subscribe. Please watch for 20 minutes if you can. Please replay the episode and let the ads play. Just let it run. Yes. Also, my podcast, Small Doses Podcast, is now independent as well. So let them ads play. Okay? Let them ads play so I can pay my team. We also would love for you to drop a seal in the chat if you like something that was said. And remember, if you want to support in other ways, if you want to be more involved in the content that I'm creating, make sure that you join patreon.com, or you can also drop a super right here. All right, let's get into our word of the day. Our word of the day is Dido. Not to be confused with right? Dido. Dido is a mischievous trick or prank. It is spelled D-I-D-O. D-I-D-O. It's a noun, okay? It's a noun. You're so right, Thad. I absolutely need to create, there's some trolls in this house. There's some trolls in this house. If you see, I'm pointing them out. If you see, I'm pointing them out. The irony was that person saying that Black Americans are living on stolen land while having a Dutch name. Like, while literally on here with a Dutch last name. Cut it out. All right, let's get into it. We got folks using it in a sentence. Nia says, April Fool's Day is all about the Didos. Yes. No, Isabel, you're thinking of a dodo bird which is extinct, the dodo bird. All right. Anybody else can use Dido in a sentence? Dido. Monica King said, I'm loving these Dido Dems. Which Dido Dems are there? I have not seen any Dido Dems. I would love to see some Democrats pull some tricks or pranks. Ross says, I am a Dido pro. Listen, I'm a high something scare my loved ones. General Shenanigans. Oh my God, I would hate living with you. Sweetie Cry said, when I heard my alarm clock this morning, I thought it was Dirty Dido. I feel you. Fatima says, Trump is trying to pull a Dido on the American people. I think it's more than a Dido, baby. Jessica said, Halloween is my favorite holiday because it's full of Didos. Pumpkin, jack-o'-lantern emoji. And, my shadow and I says, waking up every morning to reality and that a second Trump term is indeed not a Dido. Yep, I feel you on that. And Rolando has a question. Hey, can we call a person a Dido? Because, I don't see why not. I don't see why not. There you go. That's our word of the day. Dido, a noun. Okay, a noun meaning a mischievous trick or prank. Remember, at the end of the month, the first show of the year, the first Monday of the next month, we will have a review episode that will review the words that we've discussed, the stories we've discussed, etc. So I hope you're paying attention. I hope you're taking notes. All right. I hope you're taking notes. Now, today we have my sister, Nada Mays, dietitian, joining us to talk about foods that are good for stocking up on. You know, you see a lot of people talking about stocking up on foods, the necessity to stock up for whatever's coming. But I don't know about y'all. I'm not really sure which ones are the best ones to do. So she's going to be joining us to talk about that and give us some tips on the best foods for that purpose. So make sure you do that. Stick around for that. But let's get into, we rarely get to do these. I mean, rarely, but let's get into a Black joy story. I know it's so rare, but it's lovely when we get to a story of Black joy. Okay, so let me tell y'all something. The alt-right picked the right ones. They went to Cincinnati and they picked the right ones. So these fools went out to Cincinnati into Lincoln Heights, which is a Black neighborhood in Cincinnati, waving their little flags and whatnot, and really thought it was going to be sweet. They really thought it was going to be sweet. They was out there on the overpass with their swastikas and their mask covered, which always cracks me up because it's like, okay, so y'all didn't want to wear masks when it was going to help people and save people during a pandemic, but now you want to wear a mask to save yourself, which says everything about what you're really about. So these fools went out to Lincoln, Cincinnati, and waved their flags, and I guess they thought they were going to intimidate the Blacks. Well, here's what happened instead.
The group that eventually grew to more than 100 took a swastika emblazoned flag and set it aflame, leaving just this blob.
In this neighborhood, we do stand for something. This here turf is golden soil, and it won't be tarnished with things like that.
One man arranged bullets to spell out LH on the flag, a message not to return to Lincoln Heights. Still, anger went beyond the white supremacist display to the police who kept the group separate.
Nobody's coming to save us. They allowing the Nazis in.
Okay. And that's real. The police are there protecting them. And this happens all the time. We see this when the police are there protecting these marchers. And for the record, when you hear me talk about how there's no good police, well, y'all are like, well, what about the Black police? They be there doing the same thing. They're all in there. Once they become police, they really relinquish their cultural ties so often because you see them protecting folks that are committed to harming representatives of their culture. So shout out to the folks in Lincoln Heights and Cincinnati for saying, y'all not going to come through here. The fact that somebody pulled out bullets and spelled that out, spelled out Lincoln Heights. I don't know what okay, here's the thing. I feel like there's a certain level of docile submission happening right now and kind of like just holding back that's happening with Black folks. But at the end of the day, we gonna rise. I know that it's frustrating right now watching because you're like, oh my gosh, like, where are the Black folks that are standing up? Like, why are we just chilling? Well, at the end of the day, we gonna rise. Like, I don't have any doubt in that. All these dope boys, once they not able to get dope, what you think they gonna do? You think they gonna go get a job? No, they will divert their energy into another form. Okay? So I'm just saying what's happening right now, when we see things like this, you're seeing actual Black people being restrained. Okay? They're being restrained. However, I don't for a second doubt that our people have the capability to be community when it is time to rise. I know that it seems like that a lot, but I feel like what people also don't understand is that you don't need everybody. Okay? You don't need everybody. You just need enough. People have a very romanticized version of the civil rights movement where they think that everybody was down. No, it was actually mostly young people and the people that were literally like a part of the organizations. Everybody else had to go to work. Everybody else may have been frayed, etc. So I just want us to remember that you don't need everybody. You just need enough. And I will say again, I think that these folks, the alt-right folks, Trump and all of them, I think that they have a very I think that they have a very methodical plan in suppression, and it is one that goes to the hilt, okay? So they want to suppress women's right to vote. I'll talk about that later. They want to suppress women and their ability to take care of their bodies. So that's one thing, right? But then you also have the fact that they're really trying to push public schools out. And all of this is preliminary. Once it's messing with people's money, which we are seeing very quickly, you're going to see a shift. Okay? You're going to see a shift. And in a country that has been built on capitalism, if you then remove people's ability to capitalize, you're going to get pushback, which is why they have cop cities being built, because they know what they're trying to do. And they're trying to create pushback, and then they're going to suppress, and then they're going to arrest people and put them in prison to be a part of the labor force. However, there's a version of that that doesn't turn out that way. Okay? There's a version of that that doesn't turn out that way. And I want to just embolden and empower you to learn your history, to learn your communities, and to learn yourself. And I always will remind you to ask yourself, what is your courage? What kind of courage do you have? Because you're going to need it. And you need to know where you stand on that. All right? Ask yourself, what kind of person am I? I need to know now so that if it come down, I know what I'm going to do. Okay? Let's get into some 60-second headlines.
Amanda Land.
60-second headline. And I run down some news right quick.
Run it down, mama. Put us on.
Okay, so this is like 4 headlines in one story. Shout out to everybody who just joined. We're up to 700. Welcome to Views from Amanda Land. It is your morning show, news and truths by any joke necessary. Thank you for waking up on the right side of history. So this, like I said, is going to be a number of stories all in one, because the truth is it's been happening so rapid that you can't even do just one headline. Now, we're watching the ceasefire going on in Gaza, seeing people come back to their homes, and there is joy, but I want to remind you all, there is also a lot to be contended with in the fact that there is a nuclear waste site, basically, where people are coming back to. All of those bodies decomposing, the animals, when you're blowing up buildings, you're also all the ammunition, they're left over from the ammunitions, etc. Like the water isn't safe. People are coming back to a place that is very much so uninhabitable. They know that. And when I say they, we're talking about this fool right here. So this is how it starts.
I'm committed to buying and owning Gaza. As far as us rebuilding it, we may give it to other states in the Middle East to build sections of it. Other people may do it through our auspices. But we're committed to owning it, taking it, and making sure that Hamas doesn't move back. There's nothing to move back into. The place is a demolition site. It'll be, the remainder will be demolished. Everything's demolished. I mean, you can't live in those buildings right now. They're very unsafe. But we'll make it into a very good site for future development by somebody.
Now, I want to point out that he then was asked, will the Palestinians be able to return? And he said no. And this is the definition of ethnic cleansing. Okay, we're going to move everybody out. We're going to make it livable, and then we're going to decide who gets to live there. That is ethnic cleansing. So to that response, the Hamas folks was like, now, hold on now.
According to all observers, including the mediators, that we have done all what we have to do along the last few weeks. But the Israelis, until now, they are still blocking the humanitarian aid. They are still shooting on Palestinians and killing Palestinians. They are threatening by returning back to war. They have For example, they have postponed the negotiations for the second phase have to start on the day 16 of the first phase agreement.
So what Hamas is saying is they're like, you want us to continue holding up our side of things, but you have not held up your side of things. There have been 110 people at least that have been killed in Gaza since the ceasefire. We've also seen what's been going on in Jenin. We've also seen what's been going on in the West Bank in general. It's not like they have respected the ceasefire. There's also a whole ceasefire in Lebanon that they're ignoring, and they're continuously dropping ammunitions in Lebanon. So now you're like, well, okay, maybe the H group, they may be onto something because there's something valid here for them to say, hey, we're not going to release any more hostages while y'all are talking about ethnic cleansing. You're not letting aid in. You're not letting people back. Like, what are we talking about? And then this guy comes with this.
Do you ceasefire to be off?
Well, I would say this, and I'm going to let that because that's Israel's decision. But as far as I'm concerned, if all of the hostages aren't returned by Saturday at 12 o'clock, I think it's an appropriate time. I would say cancel it and all bets are off and let hell break out.
I feel like so many of us have known that there was a propensity for this type of behavior because we've seen it, we've read about it like on film and in TV, but watching it in real time is something else. This is demonic, okay? And the wielding of this is really all he cares about. He just likes that he can say this. And of course, he then defers back like, oh, well, Israel, they can make their own decision. But the reality is that we're watching in real time white settler colonialism moving the pieces on the chessboard. These are the same things that Kissinger and them were doing, okay? These are the same things that were taking place whenever we read in history books. We're just seeing it for real. And the question is, are we going to respond differently? That's what always is my question. Are we going to respond differently because this is how they are and this is how they've always been? And they continue to be able to be like this because they're able to get away with it. Well, this is a very much more clearer vantage point than we've ever had. And what's the response? I don't even know that I have one as of right now, but I can tell you that this right here is unacceptable. We've seen the other nations that he's talking about, whether it be Jordan or Saudi Arabia, say, absolutely not. We're not doing this. We're not taking Palestinians, and we're also not going to rebuild Palestine. Nonetheless, I don't know what happens next in this situation, but I do know that they are looking to start a war. And I don't know that Americans are going to be down with this one. I don't know that Americans are going to be down with sending their people over to that part of the world for this particular reason. This is not even cloaked in, oh, we're trying to bring democracy. This is actually straight up, we just want this land and we gonna take it. I don't know. I feel like when I see people say things like Palestinians are extremely racist also, what I want to point out is that the entire world is racist. To say that an entire group of people is extremely racist also is one of the dumbest things that you can say. You must be new here because the truth is that everybody is racist. Everybody is racist. And at the end of the day, even if Palestinians are racist, they not more racist than Zionists. I tell you that. They not. And at the end of the day, at the end of another day, your racism is powered by your access. Your racism is powered by your status. And at the end of the day, the folks that have the highest status and the highest access are weaponizing their racism on a regular flippin' day. And anybody else beneath that axis of power is the result and the response of indoctrination that they have been trickled down to receive. So miss me with that and get out of here. I am going to have to get a moderator. So it's probably going to be you, Luna, because you're here every day. It's like Luna, Felicia, Rolando, one of y'all, because y'all be here every day. Nasra, there's a few of y'all. So that's what's going on in Palestine right now with the ceasefire. I saw videos this morning of Palestinians saying, we're stocking up because we really don't think this is going to last and we need to hunker down and take cover, which brings us to our next segment, which is a new segment that I have titled Level Us Up, because I feel like we have guests that come on the show for the purpose of leveling us up. The whole purpose is to teach us. The whole purpose is to, basically increase our knowledge of things, of information, and level us up to another position in our human experience, right? Yeah. And so this segment, Level Us Up, is going to be repetitive. It's going to come in ever so often. And I want you all to make sure that you let it level you up.
Amanda Land. We up.
Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar? Let's hear it one more time.
Amanda Land. We up.
That's right. That was my theme song from another time. But you know what? That we up is mine. And we're going to bring up our Level Us Up guest for today. Registered Dietitian and Nutritionist Nada Mays, MSRD, LDN, Ravenclaw.
I'm actually Slytherin.
Are you?
Yeah, interesting, right?
Not Hufflepuff?
No, they got put in Slytherin.
I think Nora would be Hufflepuff.
Nor?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nor would be a Hufflepuff. That's true.
He's a vet.
Yeah.
I feel like all veterinarians are Hufflepuff, except for the ones that are in it for the capitalism. Well, today we have brought on registered dietitian nutritionist Nada Mays to talk to us about what are like the best foods for stocking up. When we talk about everybody needs to hunker down and stock up, I feel like in my mind, I'm like, does that mean get rice and beans? Like, is that it? But I don't know. And so I know that you have done a segment like this related to Palestinians stocking up. And I'm sure it's not that far different for us here in the States in terms of what we need to stock up on.
Yeah, I mean, nutritionally, we're looking at the same goals. When I did that, it was my suggestions for food to add to aid for Gaza. So it was like there were some cultural foods that wouldn't really translate for most people in the States. But nutritionally, we have the same goal. And I think one thing that I've seen people who aren't nutrition professionals, when they're talking about what people are getting for food and aid and criticizing, their criticism is misplaced because they're talking about their diet on an everyday basis, which a lot of times for us in America is focused on weight management. Like, we want to keep our weight low. Throw that out when we're talking about survival.
Right.
So they're like, yeah, I'm like, this criticism isn't really fitting. So I did put together a short list. Rice and beans is on the list though. So we want to build on what we already have.
Okay.
Another food I'd suggest is powdered eggs.
Powdered eggs.
Yes. So they're shelf stable, they're dry, they're easy to carry. Eggs are really a great source of nutrition, great source of protein, fats, vitamins, and minerals. Another one is powdered milk. We're looking at high calorie, high nutrient foods. So high calories, high vitamins, high minerals, not empty calories, which would be something you get from candy, right? High calories, but no vitamins, minerals, nutrients.
Got it.
Dried fruits, we love them. Once again, shelf stable. They're portable, because you need to think about, we're learning so much unfortunately, from what's happening in Gaza and these multiple genocides, Congo, Sudan. Being able to move your food storage is something I'm keeping in mind. Dates. I'm Middle Eastern. I'm Palestinian. Like, dates is... It's our survival. So it's a great food to think about storing, really high in electrolytes, also great source of energy, and really portable, shelf stable. Dried vegetables as well, if you can find them. Nuts, another high calorie, nutrient dense food. Nut butters, animal bones, right? So if you go and look at any cultural food in the world, there are, a lot of times if you're butchering an animal, you'll take the big bones and crack them and eat the bone marrow in the middle. And that's because it's a great source of really hard to find vitamins and minerals, as well as fat. So it's calorie dense once again. And when you're in survival mode, a little bit can go a long way, especially if you've run out of things and that's all you have left. So
where do you get animal bones?
I mean, if you're hunting, you're gonna... Right? I'm thinking, like, if there's
really nothing out there.
Yeah,
okay.
What level of emergency are we on?
Okay.
And if we're not hunting, let's say you have chicken, right? You're gonna boil the chicken bones you have to make a broth, and then you can use that broth in things like rice or making your pasta to raise the nutrients in that food as well. So we're just trying to reduce the waste of nutrients.
Okay.
Right. And then there are some interesting tricks that we can do. So if you are able to get modernly processed rice, don't rinse your rice, because rice is fortified. So that means they add vitamins and minerals to the rice. And when you wash the rice, the starch is released, as well as those vitamins and minerals. Now, as a culinary, I was a chef for 10 years. I have 3 culinary degrees. I'm rinsing my rice because I love that. I love that fluffiness of the rice. I love that texture when the rice is rinsed. But if I was in survival mode, I'm switching my priorities. I'm not rinsing my rice. Sorry, my baby is playing with the mouse.
Hi, Aaliyah.
All right, mama, shway. I'm not going to rinse my rice because I want to keep those vitamins and minerals in the rice to feed my family and feed myself. And then we can also look at fortifying food. So if you have bread and or if you have flour and you're going to make bread, you can add things like the dried milk powder. You can add eggs to make your breads more nutrient dense and to, take your nutrition a little bit further with every bite. So once again, looking at nutrient dense food. So maybe less volume, but maximum calories and nutrition per bite.
So, it's like all of these are pretty easy to find, but I would have never thought of the dried fruit, but that makes perfect sense. Like, because I'm thinking I'm just going to have to do without fruit, but no,
you can have it. Yeah.
You can have it. And then, where do you get powdered eggs?
You'd have to order it. A lot of food service places get them and you're like, why are the eggs weird? It's because they're powdered.
Because they're powdered. That's right.
Yeah. But, you can order them. I mean, I don't want to list the places because I'm not supporting any of these companies. But if you need to survive, sometimes we got to adjust the priorities. And then another thing I want to talk about is gardening. Guys, this is the perfect time right now. This is the time. Oh, okay, I'm going to open this.
Open this. Open it.
This is the perfect time for us to test out our gardening skills. You don't need to be an expert overnight, but try something. If you have a little pot in your house, can you grow a tomato plant? Do you have, I live in Philly and I saw one guy off the highway, didn't even have like a rooftop setup or anything, but still was planting things on his roof. So try, this is a great time, experiment and develop those skills. So if we are in this state of need, you have some gardening skills to produce some extra food that way as well. Even in the city, a little garden bed can produce a lot more food than you think with composting and things like that.
I'm going to try. Someone here Nia says radishes are a great beginner veggie. Is there any nutrients in radishes? I feel like they're all water.
I mean, they're water, fiber, but there is always going to be some vitamins and minerals in all vegetables and fruit.
Now, are there any don't do's?
I would say throw out the current, like the weight management diet and fad diets. If you want
But
to
I
follow,
mean like particular foods. So I will tell you a story.
yes.
Hurricane approaching. My mother is like, well, I'm going to go to a hotel. And I'm like, what did you get food wise? And she's like, oh my God, I brought yogurt and tuna fish. I said, so just so I'm clear, you don't know how long you're going to be gone for. And you brought yogurt and tuna fish. And she said, yes. And I was like, but that's going to spoil. Like, what if there's no power and you can't put the yogurt in the fridge? And she was just like, well, that's what I want. Fair. But I suggested like, okay, maybe that's what you want, but you could also, in addition to that, maybe have some backup. What are some things, I know it may seem pedantic or rudimentary, but what are some things that people should stay away from bringing with or considering stock up foods?
Cereals, those high sugar cereals, really sneaky. Like Honey Nut Cheerios, people don't realize has 24% of your recommended daily added sugar in 1 8-ounce cup. And no one's eating 1 cup of Honey Nut Cheerios at a time. We're usually eating 2.5. Yeah. So those are going to mess up your day. They're going to be high in calories, and they're not going to be, it does have some nutrients, but you can do better things than the cereal. So leave them. I remember back in a long time ago when I lived in LA, someone brought cereal to their, what do they have? Earthquake kit. And the teacher was like, no, this is not. Yeah. Refrigerated foods. If you don't have an option and you need to bring them or you have them, eat them first, right?
Yeah.
But maybe not the best to stock up on. And candy, I would say things like that. Those are going to negatively impact your health. They're not really going to add a lot to your overall nutrition.
What about salted meats?
Yeah, salted meats can be really helpful. And learning to salt and dry meat can also be, if you're looking at long-term survival needs, can really put you, set
Is
you up for that
jerky
one.
considered salted meat?
Yeah, jerky. Sausages, you just want to be careful with them. The dry ones are great. I would stay away from the sausages. And some of the sausage now is nitrate free, which is better for our health in the current situation. But there's no preservation in those meats. So they go bad really quickly and can cause foodborne illness really quickly. Okay.
I feel like there's just a lot of kind of like when it comes to the thought process around war and, stocking up, etc. A lot of people feel like it's extremes, but what you've really laid out is a lot of practical things, y'all. These are practical. I mean, aside from, so powdered milk is you use water to make it. Mm-hmm. Any other beverage things that we should be thinking of?
I mean, we're going to need water.
This one.
Yeah, right. And so learning how to boil your water and filter it if needed, if there's like, if you're in a place where the water doesn't run clear, if you don't have a capacity to boil your water, you might need to bring some bleach drops or iodine drops to clean your water. I was in Peace Corps for 2 years. It tasted nasty, but if you wait a couple of days, the chlorine actually evaporates and the water will taste better with time and still be clean. But yeah, that needs to happen because you don't want to get a waterborne illness that will take you out.
That will take you out.
Diarrhea, the really, really strong killer, number one killer of children worldwide. And it's usually in situations like this where there's instability.
Well, there you have it, y'all. Don't get the runs. Get clear. Thank you so much. I feel there's a certain balance that I'm trying to have between kind of like catastrophizing, but also preparedness, right? And sometimes, y'all, it's not about being paranoid. It's just about being prepared. Have the information, whether you choose to use it right now and, be in your bunker. That's that's on you. However, this goes along with also learning how to use weapons, which I also strongly suggest, as well as self-defense skills in general. I just really feel like, if you got stairs in your house, run your stairs. Get your stamina up. I'm gonna tell you now. If it came down, Nada, I can't run. All right. I can sprint short distances. So I better learn how to hand-to-hand combat. Okay.
Listen, but you'll be the one doing the flips and things like that. They don't even know what's coming. There's one more thing I did want to add to the list, the electrolytes, which speaking of diarrhea, right?
Yes.
It can happen in these situations. If you can get rehydration salts, ORS, whether Gatorade powder, liquid IV, if you want to be fancy, get those. Shelf stable. You can also learn how to make them as well, but those can be really helpful if you get any sickness, which can be kind of common in these situations.
Okay. And what did it say one more time for me? What are they called?
Electrolytes. So
you said you can get tablets or something?
Oh, you can get their ORS is the rehydration salts.
That's
the generic name. They taste the worst, but they are effective. And then you can get the fancy ones, which are like liquid IV or the Gatorade, which is branded.
Okay, y'all. Well, thank you so much. Where can people learn more about the work you do and get involved with a dietitian nutritionist?
Yeah, well, Meta is giving me a hard time, which I think is common in these parts. Mm-hmm. So actually, I would say to my followers, you can follow me on Nutrition by Nada. I am on all social media, but I'm moving to YouTube, I expect in the future. So you want to follow my Nutrition by Nada YouTube page. There's nothing there yet, but that's where I think my focus is going to be. nutritionbynada.com is coming up. You can also email me at it's at neda@nutritionbynada.com. What is my new email? Email me at nutritionbynada@gmail.com,
right?
I have a new one that is like Nutrition by Nada. It's fine. Just email me at nutritionbynada@gmail.com. Let's keep it simple.
Okay.
Some new things coming up.
And just for visibility purposes, tell people why having dietitian nutritionist support can be helpful to them.
Yeah, you want to make sure you have a registered dietitian, to be honest, because some people call themselves nutritionists and might not have the right qualifications you're looking for medical nutrition therapy or some of these more specific needs. There's so much misinformation out there, and having the wrong information for the wrong issue can lead to death and can lead to really severe sickness and hospitalization. So we want to make sure that doesn't happen, but also why not do it when you're healthy and when you're well so that you can live the longest life possible and not have to be hospitalized or live in a facility and prevent all of these health concerns. We're always talking about Black health and, health for people of color. Mm-hmm. Let's move into prevention. Let's make it so we're the healthiest people in spite of the systemic racism and those effects on our health and things like that.
All right. You heard that. Let's be proactive, not reactive. Thank you so much, Nada. Y'all stock up.
Thank you.
Y'all need to get stocked up. I'm about to get stocked up. I'm about to do it. I'm going to get focused. I tell myself I'm going to do it all the time, but then I forget. In the meantime, in between time, if any of you all hear me talking about what would the ancestors say, it is my one-woman show that is asking the question, what would the ancestors say about where we are? And what kind of ancestors would we be for the next generations coming forward? And I'll be performing the show on February 22nd live for free at Lincoln Center's Atrium. And I want to give y'all some insight into the show. So here, take a little peek at some scenes from the show. Sometimes feel like in our history books, it goes like slavery and then Martin Luther King. Now, if I came back down there, you got to ask yourself, would Harriet Tubman shoot me? I think about Clarence Thomas like all the time. So often, Black excellence is just opposed to white mediocrity. That our ancestors were not fighting and dying and escaping to be white. We got Nissan, we got Daewoo, but we don't have a Keisha XL Turbo. Black, black, black. Some folks ain't ready to be free. They're like, oh my God! My great-great-great-grandfather wasn't a good man. Ugly, nice, bad. And as it tries to pull them prongs through the dance, he feels his wrist about to snap. And then it's pop, pop. Nothing in in this country for Black American people has ever been won without great loss. The Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, Fair Housing Act of 1968. Happy Juneteenth! Here, nigga! Damn! Black people who don't build altars on Juneteenth should be haunted. If they really wanted us in this country, we would have already been paid reparations and remunerations. There's a difference. Top cities are simply just occupation bases in your city. Damn. Everybody's got a plan till they get punched in the face. My people, we must re-engage our empathy. People ask me, why do you care so much about Palestine? Part of the reason I care so much is because I should have cared all along. And you think that Palestine don't got shit to do with you? Black people started coming to my shows wearing keffiyehs like starter jackets in the 90s. A bridge was being built. I chose to lose to regain my integrity.
Knocks me right off of my feet. Can't explain why your love, it makes me weak.
Oh, the niggas. All right, y'all. So meet and greet tickets go on sale Monday, February 17th at amandaseals.com. Set your timer, set your alarm, because there will only be 200 meet and greet tickets available. All right. So there will only be 200 meet and greet tickets available. And once they are purchased, it's a wrap. So make sure that you go out there and get that. Support your girl. All right. Support your girl. You know, you guys are leaving such nice messages. David said, you make me proud. Charmaine said, oh my God, you make me so proud, Amanda. You were absolutely so amazingly talented. I'm coming to the show. Thank you, Charmaine Paramore. INH Productions said, at this point, if anybody is hating on Amanda, they just super informed and I feel sorry for them. Thank you so much. You know, my homies tell me that a lot of people, when they hear them talking mess, they're like, you must not know. Amanda been on this. Okay, wait. Melissa is hilarious. Melissa said, ooh, child, 200 people to meet in one night is a lot. Power to you. I know. But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, Melissa. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. This is also part of the, it's also part of the work. Like, I'm not a public servant. I'm not an official. I'm not an organizer in the traditional sense. But you know, what happens when we do the meet and greet is we are interacting in a human way. And I think that's not something that gets to happen enough. And, you know, eventually I want to be able to do that on a more regular basis. But ultimately, this is where we can start. So shout out to everybody who's coming through and who's going to be there. It's so nice to be in NYC. I got to tell you, it really is it's a different vibe. It is a different vibe. But I also need to meet 200 people because your girl needs the monies. I have a staff to pay. So there's that. All right. Everybody, please pray. Please take a moment to pray because my house is only 9 days out of closing. Look, child. I need this burden off my back. I need this weight off my shoulders. I need this dwelling to stop giving me lack. I need it to move like boulders. So pray that it sells. Pray that it closes. I need y'all to pray that it sells. I said pray that it closes. Yes, hallelujah. 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 Okay, Melissa. Again, Melissa can be getting play on here a lot of times because I've known her since I was 14. But Melissa said, I need an Amanda Spirituals album. You might get what you asked for because I have in my pocket a plan to do an album called Political Hymns. I have the songs planned out. It's literally about just getting time to get in the studio and really make it happen. But it's in there. The plan is there. The plan is there. You know what? Let's talk about how Black I feel today. Are you ready? Let's do it.
How black do you feel today?
All right, y'all. Let me tell you how black I feel today. I had to talk to my accountant yesterday because it's almost time for taxes. And I saw this sister talking, and I said, child, I feel like you. This how I feel.
I'm not spending a fucking dollar on nothing else but some food. You got me fucked up. Watch me change this motherfucking W-4 right the fuck now. You're not getting no tax money from me neither. Like, the thought process, what's going on? I'm not paying anything. Are you? We should stop this right the fuck now. I went to my local to get my fruits and vegetables and groceries and stuff. I went to my Asian market in order to get things too. I'm not feeding into this motherfucking capitalistic bullshit anymore.
Wait,
Fuck
I didn't
you and this
realize how much
oligarchy.
she's cursing.
I don't give
I'm sorry. I forgot how much. Didn't realize how much she's cursing. But I'm with her. I feel that. I'm with her. I wish I could. They would love to lock me up. She was just getting into it, but I was like, no. So, I put Sis's name on here. I put her banner up here. Didn't I put it up here? Yeah, go on TikTok. Go to @GadgetBeat35. @GadgetBeat35 and show her some love, okay? @GadgetBeat35 and show her some love. YouTube gonna knock me for that one, but but nah, man, I feel her. It's a crazy time. I just want y'all to know something though. See how the numbers are 782 today? That's because YouTube feeds like the rest of these places, they feed toxicity. So yesterday, when not necessarily toxicity, but they feed like if you're talking about like the mainstream. So yesterday, because I was talking about Kendrick, they fed the show to more people because I was talking about a mainstream topic. Isn't that something? And the reality is that most of the trending topics are just distractions to keep us from talking about what really needs to be talked about. And that's the facts. But the trending topics are you know, what they want everybody to kind of just be distracted by. And tomorrow we have Ernest Krim, who's going to come on to talk about his book, and also talk about, you know, leaving the school system. But let me just also state, I want to talk about tomorrow just the Democrats as a whole and how they exist, not just as politicians, but within the multimedia sphere as well, and why that becomes so problematic in terms of folks being able to actually rise and challenge. And we got to get into it because much of the reason why anybody is not moving is because they don't think they need to, because they have been tricked to believe that somebody else is doing it. So I will continue to make sure that I address that. All right. I will continue to make sure that I address that. Well, how do y'all feel? Because that's today's show. I'm going to go sleep because I'm sick. And I want to thank everybody who joined us since the beginning of the show. I want to thank Nada for joining us to talk about what we can stock up on. I'm going to have to sit back and write that list out. All right. If you haven't shown your love, this is a good time to do it. So let's get into it. Show your love. This is the soft version. Show your love. This is the Janae Aiko version. Baby, hit me in the Cash App, baby. Show your love. Show your love. Show your love with a Cash App. Show your love with a super. Show your love by giving a little something to the show. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Show your love. Oh my God, I be cracking myself up, man. I really do. I be cracking myself up. I hope everybody has a great day. I want to shout out everybody who gave us super. Thank you for doing so. Remember, we have a lot to do. Ask yourself, what is your courage? And you know what I forgot to do today? No one even said it.
PSA.
I forgot to do my public sales announcement, but I just remembered it before the show was over. You know, I'm seeing people say things about Kendrick's performance like, oh, well, he's not a real revolutionary. He's cosplaying as a revolutionary. He's a celebrity and he gets to come on the white man stage. Let me just tell y'all, there is no usefulness for purity in your purpose when it comes to rising. I think that a lot of y'all do that as a way to make it seem like you're better or that you're doing something of more value than somebody else. And I'm not sure why you feel like that is necessary or helpful, but it is absolutely, I will tell you now, unnecessary and unhelpful. If he had gone on that stage and did those songs and did just whatever songs he had that were hits, you would be complaining and saying, see, here we go, another coon tap dancing. Then you'll say, well, he shouldn't have gone on that stage at all. And that is a valid point. But if you're going to use the stage for messaging that empowers people, then I'm going to stand behind you. I don't think people understand enough how necessary it is for the choir to be preached to. The choir are the ones who are already showing up ready to go. And they need moral support. They need encouragement. They need to see that others who are actually in front of the camera are standing on business. And the idea that we don't need to see that is really, to me, silly. Now, I love me some Malcolm X, but when Malcolm X said, you know, expecting celebrities to rise, he has a quote about like celebrities being at the forefront is nonsense. And I disagree with him. I don't think they're at the forefront. I just think that at the end of the day, we live in a nation that has optics as a big part of how things move because it uses media for propagandism. So if you're going to see folks that are already in that circle using that to disassemble propagandism, I say we cheer them on. I say we encourage more folks that have that type of visibility to do what they need to do. Taylor Swift got booed because she was like, I'm not going to support Donald Trump. Now, I don't support the Democrats, but I think it was a big deal for her. That's a young person. It was a big deal for her to do that. So I shout out my leftists. I appreciate, you know, what we're about. Those of us who are progressive, who are leftists, who are, you know, under the banner of socialists or communists. You know, I don't necessarily put myself under any of those banners other than I am a humanitarian that understands that there are a lot of things in this world that are counterproductive to the survival and the thriving of people in this world. And that is what I stand on. But I was just irritated when I saw that because it made me say to myself, so y'all don't think art matters either? How, if y'all don't think art matters either, then you're not much different than these other fools. Do not think that extremism is valuable. Any extreme is a problem. Okay? Multi-pronged approach. Everybody has a role. Everybody's role ain't the same. Do not shit on and shame other folks who are fully committed to their role and doing it the best that they can. if you think that you could do that role better, I want to see it. Because I can promise you, not a single person that was talking about that would have known what to do. Taylor Swift is almost 40. Is she really? My bad. In my mind, Taylor Swift is 26 for life. I take that back. My bad. In my mind, Taylor Swift is 26. You know what that is? That's me not wanting to be 43. Even though I don't mind being 43, that's me being, like, who's aging? No one's aging. So my fault. I correct that. But I will say again, at the end of the day, we got to have as many folks down as possible. And shading folks who are presenting themselves consistently as down is a waste of your time and energy. And none of y'all could have got up there and rapped in the first place. So cut it out. That's how I feel about that. PSA. Okay, so now we got that out the way. Y'all, let's hit it. Let's get into our 30 seconds of stillness. 30 seconds of stillness. I enjoyed laughing and learning with you. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And tell your friends. Also, listen to the podcast. It's available everywhere pods are casted. Listen ad-free by subscribing to Patreon Amanda Seals. Come on and join the Seals Squad. Views from Amandaland. Live 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Wednesday, with content on Thursday and Friday at YouTube Amanda Seals TV. Smart